Hi everyone, welcome to Paper Wishes Weekly Webisodes. I'm Lene Gehrig, and today I've got the cutest collection of stamps. These are Nellie's Cuties from Nellie's Choice. We've got a little bear with a balloon and a little snorkeling mouse and the sweetest little dog with a rose and these cute little elephants that are just celebrating. I can't wait to show you what I did with them, so come play with us. So here's my first card using these adorable little elephants. This particular set is called Happy Birthday. And I covered my card with Sweet Pea 12 by 12 patterned cardstock and the coordinating solid cardstock for matting. And I should mention that this is a 6.5 by 5 inch card. And I love to use for stamping purposes. This is from Hunky Dory Lightweight Essential Cardstock, and it's this huge block of paper. And oh gosh, how big is it? It's about, oh gosh, 6 by 10, 5 by 8, something like that. Anyway, plenty of room on it for stamping. Anyway, it takes the stamps and the colors really, really nicely. For ink, I like to use, of course, alcohol-proof ink because I like to use Spectrum Noir Tri-Blend markers. And on this particular card, I used pale pink for their sweet little ears, and ice gray blend, and then a little bit of citrus green, and that was just for the areas on the little hat and the banner and things like that. So let's see, what else can I show you? Oh, these are new for us. These are 49 in Market Royal Posies in Bashful color, the sweetest little color of pink. I just added a couple little cluster right here with that little leaf, and then one up here. Of course, I just cut little banners to kind of emulate what was going on here. I just took strips of paper and then just folded them and did a little dovetail cut there. And then I added Happy Birthday, and these are Pearl and Pastel Tiny Words and Phrases Dazzle stickers. And there's a really nice pink one, there it is, right there. And they come in all these different shades with all kinds of random little sayings and greetings on them. Really nice and handy to have. And you can always find everything that we are showing you in the products used below our video. And if you're watching us on YouTube, just click on the link below the video and it'll take you to this Webisode page. So here is my little stamped elephants here. And for this, I like to use, let's see, from Spectrum Noir, I like to use the alcohol-proof black ink. And also I like Memento Tuxedo Black. And I'll link both of those below. And the reason I like to use those is because they do not bleed with the alcohol. So if you've not used tri-blend markers before, I'm going to show you how this works. There's 3 pens in one. For this gray one, there's a dark and then a medium and then a light. And it gives you this really lovely ombre effect there, which makes it really easy to color. I am by no means a great colorer. I enjoy it. I find I get better the more I do it, but I just could only hope to be as good as some people out there. So I'm going to take my mid color, and I like to just kind of go along the hat like this, and I try to just do the areas that I think need to be a little bit darker. And then I'm going to go to the darkest color, and I'm going to kind of go where these little creases are in the ear and along the trunk like that. All right, and then I'm going to add a little bit of, well, let's not do that yet. Let's go ahead and do the light color. And I'm just coloring in that whole ear and blending it with the darker colors. Just like this. Okay. Maybe we can zoom in a little bit more, Steve. That. And then I'm just going to do the face on this cute little elephant. And I'm going to be adding a little bit of pink to the ears and to the cheeks so you can see just how that works. And then I just kind of take that light pen and go over the darker colors a little bit. Get that trunk. Go. Just like that. Now I'm going to take, this is pale pink blend, and I'm going to take the lightest color And I'm going to put a little bit of pink on the ear, the center of that ear, just to cute it up. Right there, and then a little bit on the cheeks. Just like that. And then I go back to my gray pen with the light, and I'm just gonna kind of go around where that pink was, just because sometimes it'll take off a little bit of the color, just to blend it in a little bit. And there you go, that's how I do that. And then for my hat, I'm going to be taking, this is citrus green. I take the darkest color, go along the base of the hat, then the mid or medium, and just blend into that darker color. And then go to the light and finish coloring the whole thing. So it looks like the base is a little darker, like that. All right, and then you can see at the bottom, I just did a little bit of coloring at the bottom, so it looks like they're just sitting on a little bit of grass there. Matted both pieces. I matted my rectangle here with pink and green from the solid cardstock. So that one was a pretty easy one to do. Let's take a look at, what have I got next? Oh yeah. Oh. This cute little guy, this is Hi Buddy. So he's just meeting his little friend, his little fish. And for this one, I used a center step card. Now, I've got a couple of options for you for center steps. We have got the 5 cards and envelopes. These are already die cut. They're already pre-folded. You just pull them out and you start working on them. And then we've also got, for those of you who have a die cutting machine, this is a center step cutting die, and it is 6 inches wide, so it fits through your 6-inch wide platforms like a Big Shot or a Gemini Junior. So those are great to have. So then what I did was I also added, if I can find it, here we go. I covered the center part of my card using the medium blue paper from Dotted Duos #2 paper pack, and then also a strip of this sort of aqua at the bottom. And then I used my, where's my Hunky Dory Essential cards and cardstock for stamping. I went ahead and did a die cut circle using the 12 circle and scallop cutting dies. And then I used a dauber just to create sort of these bubbles. So sponge daubers come in packs of 6, which is very nice. And what I did was I just took this, gosh, I'm gonna grab a piece of cardstock, and I used 2 shades here. I've got Arctic Mist, which I just used a blender brush, which I forgot to grab, and just did my background around the little guy after I colored him. And I should mention that I colored him with the same gray as the elephant. That was the ice gray. And I also used the citrus green and a little bit of True Blue blend, and then the ice blue blend to color in both the fish and this little guy. So I did my background in Arctic Mist using a blender brush, and then the little bubbles I used, this is Blue Lagoon, and those are just nice little ink pads by Prism. And what I did is I just took a little dot like that, and then sometimes I did the dot and I kind of leaned on one edge, and it gave me a little bit of a darker edge. And then when I wanted an even darker edge, I leaned on it a little harder. And you see it's got that nice little rim there. And that's just basically how I did that. And then you can overlap them, one lighter than the other, just like that. And there you've got your cute little bubbles. And then to do this part on the card, I just laid this open because I did them directly on the surface of the card. And I just took a little Post-it note and I just put it right there. And then I could go ahead and do my little dauber things, and they went off the edge a little bit, and I didn't get any on my card, because that would be very disappointing to get your card all the way done and then be like, oops. All right, so once I colored my little guy there, I also wanted to stamp it again because I wanted to do just a little piece that was cut out and laid over the top just to give it a little bit of dimension. So I'm trying to get my piece here with my foam tape off the back. Oh, there we go. All right, so then I just stamped it again. I cut this piece out again, just used my little scissors. And then I'm going to just place that. It's got foam tape on the back. And for foam tape, we've got a couple of options. We've got the little squares, that come like this, or we've got a giant roll of foam tape. And I like to show this often because I just think it's such a great bargain. This huge roll of foam tape, there's 150 feet or 50 yards on that. And I'll put that down below in the products used because it's like under 20 bucks, you guys. It's the greatest deal. There we go. And we just foam tape that. Oops, my foam tape is not wanting to stick. I think it kind of dried out from the last time I used it. So I'm gonna just put a little bit of glue on that. There we go. Yeah, I think my foam tape lost its stick because I left it sitting out over the weekend. And then I just foam taped my little circle there. So you see it's got a little dimension, something a little different. Added a little ribbon that's 1/8 inch ribbon set, just tied that little bow there. And then right here we've got the Happy Birthday Dazzle stickers. This is 96 Happy Birthday Dazzle stickers. These are great. And I used, gosh, there's like a medium blue in here. Here we go. No. Anyway, there's a blue that's slightly darker than this that I used that's right there. And I just like how it just sits up like that, and the presentation of that is really nice. Right, so for our next card, let's see, this one is A Rose for You, that cute little puppy. So sweet. For that one, I used a 5x5 card, and I covered with the back with red cardstock. And then for the card front, I've been using this a lot lately. I just love this pack. This is Joyful Christmas 6x6 pattern cardstock. And it's got all these great plaids on it. A few of them have snowflakes. I think 1, 2, 3 of them have snowflakes. And then the rest are just beautiful plaids that you could use throughout the winter and, I don't know, all year round. So I went ahead and cut my card front in half. So it was 5-inch wide card. I cut 2.5 inches away from that. So we've got a 2.5 inch flap right here. And I covered that with the red plaid. And then I used some, these are 10 square and scalloped cutting dies. Last week I showed you guys these, but I grabbed the rectangles. Didn't notice it till I put them back. And I was like, oh no, I showed them the wrong one. So I used that on some brown cardstock, and the brown and the red cardstock came from the same set. Oh, I think it was Sunflower, but that'll be listed down below in the supplies used as well. Then I used Floral Greetings and a really nice brown ink and stamped that there. And then I cut my little puppy out. Here we go. So to color my puppy, I used Tan Blend and Dark Red Blend. So for the Tan Blend, what I did with that was started with the lightest color, and I just colored that little stripe right there on his muzzle, and I colored that in with the light one. And then I went to the darkest shade, and I did a little dark up here. I'm only going to color half of his face so you can get the idea here. Went along the top of the ear, and I took the medium and I just started to go right down in there like that. And then I went back to the light, okay? And then we're just gonna draw that medium color down, just like that. And then went back to that medium, just added a little bit more color around the edges. You don't want it to blend in with the muzzle, like that. All right, and then went to my light. This was the pale pink again. Went to that one. Oh, I forgot to finish his ear. Colored in that little ear. It's not quite. I want to go to the medium and the light on that. Let's finish his ear. There we go. As you can see, just did that, and then I just took my red and colored in the rose and that cute little tie, and then I used some green just on the edge of the stem. And then for cutting him out, It really, really, really doesn't take a lot of time to cut this out. So you'll notice I'm keeping my little tiny scissors. Tiny scissors is an absolute must if you're wanting to cut stamps out. If you're trying to use full-size scissors, you're just going to be really frustrated. So invest in a good pair. These are linked down below. And I'm leaving a little bit of a border. And you'll notice too, I'm not moving the scissors. I'm just moving the paper. That's really my biggest tip, is that you just want to go ahead and cut him out. Don't move your scissors, turn your paper. You're just sort of steering. Also, don't try to cut out with a large piece of paper. Cut it down to the smallest that you can, because that way you're just not navigating this big hunk of paper. So as you can see, I went around really the toughest part, which is that rose, and it's not tricky at all. All right, so added a little bit of baker's twine that came from this red ribbon set too. And then you're gluing this square just to the side of the flap. So you've got a nice area here to write in, as well as the side of the card. And you just want to make sure when you're writing, sometimes I forget, I start writing around the edge here. So just kind of understand you have your limitations right there. All right, so for the last one, you guys, we've got this boy with a balloon. So cute. And I colored this guy with the little true blue. And then we've got the dark red. And then I have my brown. Here we go. And this is earth brown. And then just once again added a little bit of that pale pink for the ears. And some little green down here for the grass. Very simple. But I wanted to show you on a card just kind of how to put this one together. This is a 5 by 6.5 inch card. And for this one, I used the 8.5 by 11 Wood and Textures paper pack. This is a great one for card size. It's just 8.5 by 11, but it's got all the same. We also have it in 12 by 12. Got all these great patterns in it. And I also used Dotted Duos #2 paper pack, and it's got these great tiny circles, excuse me, and the larger circles, which you can't see on the back. So here are the larger circles, and here are the tiny circles. Okay, so for this one, I cut my red rectangle here. This is a 3 by 3. Let me see. No, this is a 3 1/4 by, I wrote this down and I'm reading it wrong. This is 3 7/8. Wow, 3 7/8, okay, this square. And then I just cut this white mat just a little bit wider. It's just about not even a 1/4 inch, probably 1/8 of an inch. And then I made it about 3/4 of an inch longer on this end. And then I just scored this right across the top. Okay, you want to leave a little bit so that when it's like this, it just looks like a matted square. And to score that, I used the Adorable Scorable. If you guys don't want to have one, this is the Adorable Scorable Mini. It's a scoreboard. And I always say Adorable Scorable, but it's Adorable Scoreboard. And what I did there is I just took the bone folder and then line that up with that groove and just do that. Actually, it's probably easier to do it this way because then you can see the mat. You can see exactly where you're putting it. All right, so did that. I've got my blue weathered wood there, just cut it slightly smaller. And then I've got my glue. This is Cosmic Shimmer Specialist Acrylic Glue. It's our favorite. So I'm just going to put a little bit on the back of this. And then I'm going to glue this to the back of the card. I'm going to center it just like that. So I'm going to just make this fold over flap, which makes a really cool closure for your card. Okay. And then this little guy, I've got a little foam tape. I'm going to take my backs off of here. Got a little foam tape, and then that's going to go right there. And then I've got the small dots. So I wanted to combine the small and the large dots. I made a little border. This is about 1 inch wide, and then just matted it with some white cardstock. And this little guy right here, this is the the primary script greeting dazzle stickers, and I use this blue one, but it's got all kinds of colors. It's got brown in there as well as the primary colors, brown and black. So it's got red, yellow, green, brown, and black. Okay, and added the Just For You on there, and then I'm going to just add a little bit of glue to this 5-inch wide border. Glue it like that. And there we go. Somewhere around here I had a little bow. So anyway, if you look at the finished card after we're done, you'll see that this has a cute little blue bow on there as well. So it's got this great little closure just like this. Okay, so you guys, great little stamps, and they're inexpensive and just perfect to add to your little stash. I think they're really sweet, so definitely check that out. We've got the Money Saver is on the right-hand side of the screen. We've got all the products to use, the list of that below the video. If you're watching us on YouTube, look below the video, subscribe, because we do 3 to 5 of these videos a week, and I wouldn't want you to miss anything, you guys. Thanks for joining me today, and I will see you next time.